schedule and see what the matchups are, but there's also revenge.
Revenge. Yes.
It's definitely a big deal. So we're looking at some of our favorite revenge games coming up for this season. Guys who are on new teams playing their old teams. And the first one, maybe the biggest revenge. The first week starts with two really big revenge games. And you've got one of them right here.
Adrian Peterson playing against the Vikings in a game. So this is my prediction. The Saints are awful defensively typically, right? So Peterson runs for 150 yards and a touchdown. Looks like he's the guy over Mark Ingram, and people start riding him. And that'll be his best game of the year by a mile. Because at 32 years old, I'm not buying Adrian Peterson, but that's going to be a very interesting game.
Well, I got one also in week 1. Eddie Lacy, now with the Seahawks, is going to go to Green Bay to play the Packers, right? He just cleared everything out. He just had a garage sale. But I see him getting a lot of touches. The whole backfield is kind of unsettled there in Seattle. So who knows long term. But I think there's another one where he's going to want to show those folks at Lambeau Field what they're going to be missing this year.
So let's move on to week 2.
Okay.
Brandon Cooks against the Saints in New Orleans in a game that I believe will be 50 to 45. One way or another, there's going to be a lot of fantasy points scored. And if you look at Cooks' indoors career, he's averaging about 11 fantasy points a game. And I would not be shocked if he is a guy who might be in my stardom and sit maybe a little too obvious in week 2. But a guy that you're going to want to start in a revenge game in a contest that could be an absolute barn burn.
All right, well, I'm going to week 8. Jamal Charles, one of his 2 games against the Kansas City Chiefs. This will be one on the road in Kansas City. The other one is in week 17, which doesn't really apply much to us. But he's going to get the ball a lot. Now, who knows what's going to happen with C.J. Anderson? I feel like C.J. Anderson would be the number 1, but I could see a scenario where in this game, they decide to feed Jamal Charles a few extra touches just to try to stick to it.
Yeah, coaches like to do that. Let's see if Jamal actually lasts.
Until week 8.
Until week 8, we'll see what happens.
We will find out. So for that kind of analysis and plenty more, you can find us at NFL.com. Plus, you can get your fantasy league started right now. Go to